What's up welders? In this video you're going to see why a portable bandsaw is a tool that should be on your wish list. If you've been following along in my bar and set of stools project, you'll know how much work goes into making just one of these things by using a 5-inch grinder. This thing will make short work of it. And because I have 7 more stools to make and the bar, I knew this tool was going to be worth every single cent. Stick around to the end of the video where you'll see a head-to-head of using this and a 5-inch grinder for noise and speed. This is Welding Empire, where you learn welding while following along in the projects I build or you build them too. From hobby to hustle, start your welding empire. The bandsaw arrived in solid packaging. The delivery company put a sticker on it indicating that it induced flatulence if bending over next to it. Thanks, toll. Inside is the instruction manual and a nicely packaged saw in a protective polystyrene box. The blade comes fitted already, so the only thing you need to do is fit the supplied material stop. The base of the bandsaw is made out of pressed 3mm steel or 1/8. It's solid enough that it isn't flimsy, but it's still light enough that you wouldn't hesitate picking it up, chucking it in your vehicle and going to do a custom exhaust or turbo manifold. The feet on the bottom aren't adjustable, which is a bit of a downer, but it's not a major. The vise on the bandsaw is made out of cast iron with a nice fine grind finish, so it doesn't bind up at all when you're using it. The pressed steel ones you see on cut-off wheels aren't the nicest to use. The main body of the saw is cast aluminium, again to keep the weight down. I'm impressed with the saw's build quality. The blade drive wheels are also covered with a rubber lining to prevent slippage. The BS85 has the ability to cut 3.3 inches or 88mm pipe at 90 degrees and 2.75 inches or 70mm pipe at 45 degrees. For rectangle sections at 90 degrees, it cuts 3.3 inches by 4.1 or 85mm by 105mm and 2.5 by 2.9 inches or 65mm by 75mm at 45 degrees. The blade is guided by 4 roller bearings at each end to keep it running true. I will have a video on how to do a blade change on the BS85 soon. To extend the life of your blades when cutting, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you keep up to date on all of my latest videos. Oh, and use a cutting lubricant. The motor is 110 volts in the United States and the United Kingdom and 240 volts in the Australian and New Zealand market. The 1000-watt motor has a variable speed for the different materials you'll be cutting, and the power switch is by the speed controller. The bandsaw is operated by the trigger on the handle, and it's fitted with a soft start to prevent harsh jolts. My favourite feature is the swivel cutting head. When you have a project like this where I'm alternating between 45 and 90 cuts, I don't have to remove the length of tube and muck around with moving the saw. I simply loosen the tool-free lock, push the head around to 45 and lock it again, and I'm ready to go. The bandsaw can be locked in its horizontal position for transport or in the vertical position to aid in changing of the blades. In the covering review of the Yes Welder 205DS, I'll be making a stand for this bandsaw where you can use it in the vertical position. As you can see from the little B-roll flyover, I've got all the cuts done for my bar table and stools project. There's only enough material to do 6 stools because I've done another build series of how to make everything with a 5-inch grinder and just basic hand tools. I'd done all of that material cutting over the space of 2 afternoons after work. It was about 8 hours of continuous cutting time. In that time I spent about half an hour just getting all of the cuts really square. cutting a 45 on RHS, the blades do tend to wander. This is not this machine's fault. I've had a $6,000 cold saw and it has the same problem. Just the blades walk on the radius of the RHS. So you can either adjust the blade or you can like back it off, like move it 1/2 mil and then cut. I didn't want to do that. So I backed off the 4 set screws, lifted the vise up, and there was already like factory packing. So in the factory they do make this thing pretty good, but I just wanted to bang on. So it didn't take much, and the 45s got that exactly right as well. That was just a matter of loosening the Phillips screwdriver and turning the cam, and you've got one on the side to get the 90 square as well. Like I said, they came pretty good from factory, but I just wanted it dialed in because with stainless steel on thin wall, any gap will lead to massive amounts of distortion. You'll get the thin tube sinking, and when I go to polish it out, it's just going to be that much harder. So I spent a little bit of time, got it dialed in. I highly recommend this thing. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. There is a link in the description if you want to score one yourself. And yeah, I'd recommend it. Thanks guys. Leave a comment if you rate it or not, if you consider getting one. And give it a thumbs up if you like the video. Cheers guys. I'll see you again.